Greetings. So, we're less than 2 weeks away from the presidential election, and I gotta tell you, I am stressed. I am just stressed. And I'm stressed because I know what happened 4 years ago, and I just am stressed. I'm stressed because even though I doubt that the orange guy is going to win this time around, because there are some factors that have changed, I don't like where things are headed. And I'm going to relate this one to race because, well, one, I'm black, and two, because race is really what's going to determine what happens this time around. And I can say that. You know, I did a video a few weeks ago where I said I don't have a lot of hope for how race relations are going, and I still don't. And every time we have an election like this, since President Obama, I just worry that something's going to come up and change the dynamic of everything. This year, for instance, we've had COVID-19, which has really hurt a lot of people of all races. Then we had George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and a whole bunch of other people and Black Lives Matter, and suddenly the dynamic shifted. And there were a lot of people who were coming out of the woodwork saying, we didn't know that kind of thing was happening. Idiots. It's been happening for like decades. Anyway, came out of the woodwork saying, yes, we're going to support this and we're going to start doing this. And for about a month, it looked like it was going to be a big deal. But I hedged my bet because this has happened before. Every time there's been some big thing, you've had something like this. It happened when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. It happened, well, it just happened tons of times. So I just wasn't buying any of that. And look, it's all pretty much gotten back to where it was before. There's still some folks out there who are protesting. There's still a couple of companies who have actually done some change. But overall, nothing. So we've got this election. And we've got this crazy guy. Yes, y'all just got to own up to it. He's crazy. He came out there first saying that COVID-19 didn't mean anything. Then he admitted on recording, on video, months earlier that we didn't know about, that yes, it was a big deal and it was worse than the regular flu, while telling everybody else it wasn't. And his reasoning was he didn't want to have a panic. And he's got people who are saying, yes, that's great leadership. No, it's not. Anytime you have people who are lying to you, who are in a position of leadership, that's not leadership. That's just wrong. You don't do that. How do I know? Because I've written 2 books on leadership. I did a video saying don't trust a leader that lies to you. So we've had that. And then his reaction to Black Lives Matter. He's never said anything positive about it. Matter of fact, he said it was a terrorist organization. Really? Where did that come from? Probably because one of the groups that was a Black Lives Matter group was Russian. And most people didn't know that. I did, but most people didn't know that. And here's a weird anomaly, if I can say it this way. The orange guy has lost support among white women, a bunch of support, because anytime he's had to come up against a strong woman, he calls her nasty or says, you know, all kind of bad things about women. And, you know, more white women don't like that. He already had enemies of black women who basically are the backbone of the voters who are going to make sure that they can get as many people out as possible to vote. And that's happened. Detroit, Memphis, Florida, Pennsylvania, Chicago, mainly led by black women, getting out there, trying to get these folks, trying to get them energized. Because unlike 2008 and 2012, where the black vote came out really strong, not that many came out in 2016 to vote. And look what happened. So you've got that. And oddly enough, Biden has more support from educated white voters this time than Hillary Clinton did back years ago. That's interesting. But what else is interesting? It turns out that you just got to tell it like it is. Black people, black males mainly, but black you know what, let's just go with it. Black males under the age of 29 are more supporting the orange guy than they were in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2004 and 2000. Why? Money. There are a lot of rappers who are talking to the orange guy and giving support. Why? Because they don't want to get hit with that big tax bill. I mean, you know, you have higher taxes to help take care of the country. Look how many disasters we've had this year. How many people have gotten hit by hurricanes? We're going to have blizzards coming. We've had forest fires. We've had fires in states that we never had this kind of fires before. You know, we had a lot of people who lost their jobs or had to stay home and not work at all during the pandemic. And we got a boost from the country, you know, from the federal government, which was nice, but they're battling over it again right now. This is a disaster. It's just all a disaster. And I just find it interesting. Oh, by the way, Latinos are also supporting the orange guy more than they have in the previous decade. Mainly males and mainly college educated. It's a small percentage, but still the percentage is moved. And this is how come I had mentioned that I didn't think race relations are going to get any better. Because while acknowledging that there's no one monolith, you know, all black people don't think the same. All white people don't think the same. All Latinos, Asians, whomever, don't all think the same. We all have the same problems. We all have the same issues. But some look at an issue and say, well, that doesn't affect me because I make more money. Or I want to make more money and I want to go the other direction. Well, you know, I think that's selfish, but that's okay. I mean, that's your right. Basically, I want to say that if you actually believe all the things that you want to believe, regardless of which side you're on, go ahead and vote this year. It's imperative to get the vote out. There are people who have actually stood in line 15 to 18 hours just to have the opportunity to vote. This is a big deal. It really is. I think that you have to decide what's right. No one's going to get the perfect candidate that they want this year. It's just not going to happen. It rarely happens. But to say that, well, I don't want to vote for this person or this person, and I don't want to vote the other way, so I just won't vote at all. You know, we got these positions that are called the Senate, and we got these positions called the House. This is a big deal. Really, this is a major deal. There's no reason not to vote. And if race relations get hurt because of the direction that it goes, you know what? Those of you who don't care, you don't care. Just go that way. I mean, I saw a sign earlier today that basically said that when you see something that says the orange man's name, make America great again, a lot of black people see that as racism is real. We want to be privileged. I'm not saying that's what I think. Okay, yeah, I am. You know, I mean, I will talk about my street. On my street, which is the long street, there's only one house that has a political sign on it. Of course, it's my next door neighbors, the super Christians. And of course, it's for the orange guy. But they've got it so close to their house that if you're driving down the street, you'll never see it. The only reason I know is because, like I said, I'm next door to them. This is telling, but that's what this is, 2020. It is what it is. Less than 2 weeks. Something's going to happen. I know what I hope is going to happen. I know that there's going to be people who don't want this to happen, who are hoping for the other side. I guess we'll all find out together. But it's all going to come down to race once again. And that's a shame, but that's America. My name's Mitch Mitchell. I hope you all have a wonderful week.